hero of our program today is the diplomat. She has worked on various diplomatic posts in the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs. She was ambassador to Ghana, the Consul General of Germany in Yekaterinburg, head of the Department of Economics at the embassy of her country in Turkey. She was a deputy ambassador in Senegal, led the press and economics departments at the German embassy both in Jordan and China. Today she heads the Consulate General of Germany in Almaty. I think the name of the program is very interesting, Persona Grata. Speaking for myself, it means that we're welcome in Kazakhstan. I have been working here for more than 2 years, and I was especially struck by the diversity here and the dynamics of life.
Auch die Dynamik, die das Land ausstrahlt. Und zwar Vielfalt und Dynamik in vielen Bereichen.
The diversity and dynamics primarily in the natural diversity of Kazakhstan. These are climatic characteristics of the country and among people. Kazakhstan is a large country, which ranks 9th in the world in terms of territory. And here we have a whole palette of different issues that can be practiced in the economic field, in the field of culture, and we try to keep our work with Kazakh partners at the appropriate dynamic, intense level. We have a lot of visitors from Germany who come to Kazakhstan, and we of course are trying to use the opportunities offered to us by Almaty, because it is a very dynamic, growing city, and you can carry a large number of different projects here.
Weil Almaty ist ja eine Stadt, in der alles so brodelt, würde ich sagen. Also sehr dynamisch, man kann alles finden, man kann alle Arten von Projekten machen. Also erstmal natürlich die Bereiche, in denen wir hier schon präsent sind. Das ist ja sehr häufig Maschinenbau, Hochtiefbau, Spezialtiefbau.
Traditionally, we're present in Kazakhstan in such areas as mechanical engineering, oil and gas sector. We're also strong in the field of food production. For example, recently joint production plant of soft drinks was opened not far from Almaty. German companies are also traditionally strong in the field of energy, alternative energy sources. On the eve of our participation in the Expo 2017, it will be one of the topical issues. We also offer a variety of technologies in the area of environment and in the field of transport and logistics.
Ein Thema ist nicht zuletzt in der Expo im nächsten Jahr Future Energy. Dann haben wir gute Dinge anzubieten, denke ich, in den Bereichen Umwelt, Klimatechnologie, Transport, Logistik.
Kazakhstan is attractive for Dr. Shimkrait, not only as a new country, but also as a fertile area for the realization of her personal career ambitions and creativity. In her role as Consul General, Renate Shimkrait continues to strengthen friendly relations and cooperation in various spheres of life of the two countries and its nations.
Wir haben, also ich denke, man kann das auf jeden Fall noch intensivieren und ausbauen, gerade in diesem wirtschaftlichen
We would like to expand bilateral cooperation. Each delegation from Germany, which arrives in Kazakhstan, certainly is composed of representatives of business circles in order to create new and develop existing projects. I think that it should be continued this way.
Denkbar wäre. Und ich denke, so muss es sich einfach weiterentwickeln. Ne? Wir haben alle, fast alle Institutionen, deutsche Institutionen, die sich mit solchen Fragen befassen, also Kultur, Wirtschaft.
Moreover, there are many German cultural institutions in Almaty. Together with them, Germany Days have been held in Almaty, which it should be noted. We're very warmly accepted by residents and guests of Almaty.
Wir hatten ja eine sogenannte Deutsche Woche mit sehr intensivem Programm, was auch von den Kasachen sehr gut angenommen wurde. Also wir versuchen alles Mögliche, was die Kasachen interessieren könnte, zu machen. Sie haben selber das Goethe-Institut erwähnt und das Goethe-Institut.
There is a Goethe Institute. It is still actively working to establish contacts. Not so long ago, Festival of Jazz Music was held together with the Institute. We're trying to do everything to ensure that the two cultures, Kazakh and German, go to know one another.
Deutsche Jazzband dabei in diesem Jahr. Es gibt hier ja auch, also in Almaty ist das sogenannte Deutsche Haus angesiedelt. Das ist also praktisch die Zentrale der
In Almaty, there is a German house. This organization has branches throughout Kazakhstan, and we again together hold a lot of wonderful activities.
Die haben auch überall eigentlich in Kasachstan ihre Filialen. Ich hatte, bevor ich anfing zu studieren,
I wanted to study medicine. I wanted to be a lawyer, but then I chose these directions because I was drawn to work in the sphere of politics. I was interested in the Middle East region.
Lange her, dass ich studiert habe und ich wollte im politischen Bereich arbeiten. Das hat mich interessiert. Es war damals, als ich studiert habe, politisch sehr interessant. Es war eine Zeit im Nahen Osten, der...
You know, when I was studying, it was a special time. This was the heyday of the so-called Arab nationalism, in the positive sense of the word. At that time, I was not interested in the religion itself, and I was interested in the development of Arab nationalism from the political point of view.
Also es ist nicht so sehr ein Schwerpunkt im Bereich der Religion. Das war damals eigentlich gar nicht so interessant. Das wurde gar nicht besprochen, sondern es ging um politische Fragen. Und in Freiburg, also an der Universität...
In order to work in the area, I needed to know 3 main languages, Arabic, Persian and Turkish.
Bedeutet hat, dass man die 3 Hauptsprachen... Nein, also ich bin direkt nachdem ich...
After completing my studies, I immediately went to Beirut, Lebanon, and worked there at the German Research Institute.
...noch in Beirut ein deutsches wissenschaftliches Institut gibt. Es war damals gerade der Bürgerkrieg.
At the time, Lebanon was in a civil war, and I worked as a researcher.
Das Institut hat weiter gearbeitet und ich habe dort 2 Jahre als Wissenschaftlerin gearbeitet. Und dann habe ich eben...
Later, I decided to stay in the country and work as a freelance journalist. I was engaged in coverage of events in the territory of the region.
In dem gesamten Raum, also Nahmittelost. Ich war ja freie Journalistin, das heißt also ich hatte
I was a freelance journalist, and of course I did not have one employer. I worked with many newspapers, with television channels, because topics that I covered were at that time of immediate relevance, and the Western world was interested in them. In fact, at that time, there were few journalists, and I had a lot of demand. I have not only cooperated with the German media, but with TV channels and newspapers in Switzerland and Austria.
Fürs Radio auch gearbeitet. Nicht nur für deutsche Stationen, sondern auch für deutschsprachige in der Schweiz und in Österreich. Also ich sag mal...
Subjects were complex, military conflicts, civil war. I was directly in the hot spots, on the border between Iraq and Iran. Syria, I remember, at the time was one of the countries where there was peace. In Lebanon, I interviewed Arafat. I had a rich life.
Ich war an der Front, an der Kriegsfront zum Iran. Ich habe 2 Jahre als Journalistin.
It's been a while, and suddenly I felt that I needed to finish with this way of life, and my time has come to rethink, and I decided not to cover military operations and do something else.
Und habe mich dann entschlossen, dass ich doch was anderes noch mache. Ich habe mich dann beim Auswärtigen Amt beworben und dann gibt es bei uns so einen Auswahlprozess.
I applied for a job in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Germany, passing a lot of necessary procedures. I had to pass certain exams, and it so happened that I was hired to serve in the German Foreign Ministry. My first assignment was to Jordan, and then I worked in Turkey, Senegal, in the People's Republic of China, Ghana, Macedonia, Russia, and now here in Kazakhstan.
Mazedonien, Russland und jetzt hier in Kasachstan. Aber was ich eben gerade an meinem Beruf gut finde und dann halt, wenn man selber in der Position
What I like about the position, whether the ambassador, whether the consul general, it is an opportunity to realize a lot of what I would like. And the decisions that I think are important, I can implement.
Raum auch, Dinge umzusetzen, die man richtig und gut findet. Die anderen 50%, die sind eben immer wieder anders.
50% of our time is dedicated to our profession. The remaining 50% are formed depending on the respective host country. 50% is used in order to better understand the life and the lifestyle of the country where you are.
So zu machen, dass sie von dem Gastland und von den Menschen wahrgenommen wird auf eine positive Art und Weise. So.
Renate Shimkreit loves to travel around the home country and around the world. Diplomat appreciates hiking. She prefers relaxing in nature. Like many women, she loves flowers. Flowers, we can say, is a national affection. Flowers in Germany can be seen everywhere, in parks and squares, on the streets, at the facades of houses, in the courtyards, terraces. But German diplomat has also an unusual hobby.
Dennoch habe ich jetzt also eine Sammlung von
I now have a whole collection of hip-hop, more than 100 pieces.
100 Stücke. Das fing an damit, dass mir jemand...
It all began with the fact that I once had a friend who was the artist, and he presented me with the sculpture of Behemoth, which I put at home. Guests who come to my house at once began to be interested in it, and if I am collecting any of Behemoths, I just said yes, I collect them.
Gefällt dir das besonders gut? Dann habe ich ja gesagt.
And this process has been started. All my friends who came to my home, always brought with them Hippo sculpture.
Freunde, Bekannte kamen irgendwann mit einem Nilpferd. Und ich weiß nicht, ob Sie sowas schon mal erlebt haben.
Apparently, so it turns out that if you're interested in any matter or thing, you start to see it everywhere. This is the way it happened with Hippo. I had a credit card of the German bank where Hippopotamus Hippo from Berlin Zoo was shown. I think they're very interesting, these sculptures, although the animals themselves can be extremely dangerous.
Wie sie aussehen. Ich weiß aber, dass sie auch sehr gefährlich sein können in der freien Natur. Weil da schließt sich auch der Kreis eigentlich zu der ersten Frage, die Sie
At the beginning of the interview, I talked about the diversity of Kazakhstan. You know, if I was a journalist today, I would have made sure to make a report about your country.
Die Themen, die sich dann auch verändern, sowas könnte ich mir gut vorstellen. Also ich würde gern mal von
If I think about it, I probably would have left Almaty and traveled to the Caspian Sea and tried to describe everything that I saw, the changes that occurred in the country in recent years.
Darstellt und wie es sich verändert. Also ich habe im
For example, last winter, I often took walks and excursions into the mountains. I have a large dog, and we had just walked through the mountains. Of course, the mountains in Almaty is something special that fascinates, captures the spirit. And it is certainly the most ideal place to relax. I was also in western Kazakhstan. I like the cities, which are located on the coast of the Caspian Sea.
Ich fand auch diese Städte am Kaspischen Meer sehr interessant. Also ich hab ja schon gesagt, das Thema ist natürlich
I would like to meet with the President to discuss the topic of renewable energy sources, the topic energy of the future, and energy-saving technologies in anticipation of Expo 2017. Our countries have much in common.
Auf diese Thematik. Und ich denke, dass wir da sehr spannende Sachen anbieten können.
Renate Shimkreit worked in different countries of the world, and therefore, it is understandable that she identifies herself as a citizen of the world. This modern phenomenon of globalization raises many problems and issues that require solutions, solidarity by the entire world community. And in the position of a diplomat, says Dr. Shimkreit, she also contributes to the strengthening of peace.